What's up everybody, it's Sean here and I'm back today to give you guys a review of the Action Bronson New Balance 990 V6 in this Untitled colorway. Today's video is brought to you by Capsule. Capsule is a brand new product on the market which helps to preserve your sneakers and extend their lives by up to 2 times. They tackle the 2 main reasons why your shoes age, fade, and crumble over time, which is hydrolysis and oxidization. So it's a scientifically backed formula and it's a very simple process I'll show you right here. So here I have, for example, my off-white Air Max 97s. This is one of those grail type sneakers that I don't wear too often, but it's a shoe that I want to preserve looking new. So that's why I store it in these UV protective pods like this, and it's airtight. So once it's sealed up, that's where the secret sauce comes into play. It comes in the form of a cartridge, and then you inject it into this pouch, which not only pushes out the bad air containing the oxygen and the dirt, but it pushes in the preservative, and it's the key to preserving the life of your sneakers. So on their website, you can learn more about their research, and they also offer Capsule Club, which is a subscription-based service. So if you have a few pairs of these grail type sneakers that you want to keep preserved, this is the best way for you to maximize value and save money. So check out Capsule, I'll link their social media, their website, all that good stuff down below. So check them out, do your own research, and tell them that you heard about them through me. So this is the latest collaboration between Action Bronson and New Balance, and it's his 3rd colorway of the New Balance 990 V6. So this pair released on April 4th on his website, and they retailed for $220 US, or approximately 300 Canadian dollars converted. The nickname of the shoe is called Untitled, and the product code is U990AC6. And like any other 990 V6, this pair is also made in the USA. So here's a quick look at the packaging or the box that it comes with. So the top lid is done in this vivid blue color, and we have baklava branding across the top, whereas the bottom half of the box, this is done in this natural brown color. So as for the shoe itself, jumping into the details, as we start things off with the toe box, this is covered in a white colored mesh, and towards the medial side of the edge, we have this reflective layer done in this navy blue color. We have another reflective layer here on the top towards the laces. This is done in pink and gray. And then overlaid on both sides of the toe box, we have this synthetic nubuck, which is done in this orangey red tone. And then covering the front toe cap, we have a genuine white leather, which has a very smooth coating on the top. But when you look at the leather from the side, you can tell that it is an actual genuine leather. Covering the eyelets, we have this burgundy colored suede. This is a genuine suede. And then the top 2 eyelets, this is covered in another synthetic panel, which is also reflective too. In the center of the mid panel, we have this oversized New Balance N logo. This is also reflective. And then beneath this, we have another strip of this genuine white leather. Moving downwards, we have another reflective panel in black. And then underneath this, we have more white leather, and we have 990 branding pressed onto the lateral side in orange. In the middle of the heel, we have this synthetic overlay. This is done in more of a salmon-like color. Here you'll find Made in USA branding, and then on the top of the heel, we have a reflective gray colored mesh. In terms of laces, so this pair only comes with 1 lace option, and they're a rope style lace done in a mix of blue and pink. Underneath this, the tongue is crafted out of black colored mesh. However, on the top of the tongue, we have this synthetic overlay in gray, and we have New Balance and Baklava co-branding. The back of the tongue and the interior of the shoe, this is covered in a blue colored mesh, and like any other 990 V6, it's pretty thinly padded around this collar. For the insoles, these come with a decently padded foam lined insole, and we have Baklava and New Balance co-branding on the heel. This is done in this neon green sort of tone. So the upper of the shoe sits atop this chunky midsole, which is crafted out of a mix of fuel cell and end cap technologies. So the midsole is painted in 3 different tones. We have this darker khaki on the forefoot, the end cap wedge, which is basically a dual density foam. This gives you a bit more support, and it's painted in more of a lighter khaki color, and the foam on the heel is painted in a light cream color. Finally, on the outsole, this is crafted out of a mix of gray rubber along with this icy blue rubber on the forefoot. We have these grooves to give you some added flexibility along with this wavy style traction pattern, and running down the center of the heel, we can see the exposed fuel cell foam. So that breaks down the look and the construction of this pair. And for those wondering about how these fit, to me these fit like any other 990 V6, so I personally go half size down. I'm a true size 10, slightly on the wider side, and I find that the 990 V6 is a shoe that runs especially long, so I go a half size down to deal with the extra length. So to give you guys a point of comparison, I also go with a 9.5 or a half size down in other made in USA New Balance silhouettes like the 992, 993, and most of the 990 series, whereas I go true to size or a size 10 in a lot of the made in UK and Asia models like the 991, 1500, 2002R, 860 V2, and 1906R. So long story short, if you have a narrow, normal, or slightly wide foot, I'd recommend going a half size down, but if you have a really wide foot, then I'd recommend going true to size and just dealing with the extra length. Next up in terms of the comfort, so the V6 is a very comfortable sneaker, but it's one that feels a little bit unstable and a little bit wobbly. So it has more of a dynamic feel on foot, and what I mean by that is that it almost wants to propel you forward. It's not going to be a very stable and flat sort of sneaker. The combination of fuel cell and end cap, it just gives you more of that bouncy feel underfoot. That could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on your personal definition of comfort. For me, I like a little bit more stability in my shoes, but I know a lot of people swear by the comfort of the V6, so it really comes down to personal preference. Finally, in terms of the quality and the craftsmanship, so I was hearing a lot of people complaining on Reddit, for example, or Instagram about the poor quality on this shoe, and I honestly was kind of surprised by that once I got this in hand. It felt more or less like your typical made in USA build. So we do have a mix of genuine materials like the white leather. Some people were saying that it's synthetic. Yes, it has a top layer on top, but when you look from the sides, it is an actual genuine leather. There's also genuine suede on this shoe too, and then the rest of the sneaker, it's nothing that's too uncommon. We have that synthetic nubuck, which we commonly see, and then just other overlays, like for example 3M, to give it that reflective look. So for me, I wasn't too disappointed. I thought it was more or less like your typical V6. It's not anything amazing, but I thought it wasn't terrible either. The build of the shoe I thought was pretty flawless. My panels were consistently sized and cut. The stitch job on my pair was solid as well, and it was free of any glue stains. So all in all, I wasn't impressed, I wasn't disappointed. It just is what it is, and I don't really think it warrants all that negativity I've been reading online. So with all of that out of the way now, let me toss these on feet, I'll lace them up, and I'll show you guys how these look. This colorway really is not a surprise to me. When it comes to Action Bronson and New Balance, his collaborations are consistently wild and oftentimes seemingly random. And in a strange way, I think this colorway works. I really like how the white kind of cools down the otherwise loud tones on the shoe. And some people were comparing this to the Union Air Jordan 4 Guavas, which I can kind of loosely see. But regardless, I think this is a really clean colorway. I know a lot of people are gonna hate on my opinion, but I think that these are probably the second best after the Baklava colorway. I don't know, there's just something about the mix of colors on this shoe that just speak to me. But that's the beauty of sneakers. Everyone can have a different opinion. So let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think? Also, if you were lucky enough to grab these for retail, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you're just not a fan of it, that's equally valid too. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. You can follow me on my social media accounts. I'll link all of that down below. And as always, thank you for the continued love and support. Until next time, I'll catch everybody in my next video.